partway through my work day and I thought I hadn't done a video this morning. So it was a late night last night. And the engine loom looks like this. And I'm working down in here. Have a bit of a look here. So I've got this plug done. There's the Supra one, plugs in. You'll notice there's not 100 solders. There's one there for the start, which goes off to the fuel pump as well. ECU plugs. That one I've got a little bit left. So on the ECU plugs, I've got a couple to do in this one and a couple to do in that one. There's an earth, a box for the tacho, and I'm coming up with a plan for the speedo because we're not running the speedo cable. So I'm not sure whether I'll need a box in it. I was going to recycle one of the wires coming from the back of the cluster to get it across. But that's pretty much ready to go on that engine and a couple of final things to do. So I'm happy with that. Gearbox is sitting on my bench. So I'll pop this together. Oh, I've still got to do the immobilizer on the computer. So we're going to put this selector in it with this housing in it, and it's going to sit the shifter in the right place. Got to work out gaskets and the spring tension units that go onto the shifter. Well, we know what doesn't work. That doesn't work. I took, well, I said 3mm. Well, 3mm tells the head to fall off. So we'll try another plan. And over here, past the dog, exhaust manifolds are going on. So we're starting to assemble that up. Engine mounts are painted. And they'll go in soon, but I'm going to make a jig for them first. And the guts of the wiring still hanging out here, so I can do that once the engine's in anyway. Tell you, that's good. Those spring tensions are nice. I very carefully machined the side of the gearbox with my sanding disc. I actually finished it with a file, did it by hand. Came out good, I'm happy. I even put a breather on the side of the shift selector because this late box has a breather on it. The early ones don't. Well, I can't see a breather anywhere on it, unless it's in the top of the bell housing. Or into the top of the... No, I can't see any breathers in there. Got to build a gearbox loom too yet. I've got the 4 wires coming down the back of the the back of the engine, but I haven't done the gearbox loom. It's fairly firm.
That's quite easy to adjust, isn't it?
No. I might put some lube on this now. Lube the stick, and then lube in here. Oh, you haven't even got it in yet.
No. Oh, it's teased it for a while. Could be worse.
Just a little bit sticky in the top of there. Just in here. Proof that men do use vacuum cleaners for important stuff. We might need eyes. I got ice. I'm good. You not the ice. Let's do this. Should I put a line to draw to? Oh, I got a white pen here.
Or are you just going to freeball it?
Nah, I think I'll do a guideline at least. Then I'll know how far away I got from the right place. So I reckon we come through here. We come through here.
I reckon, dog. Suck up in the air.
Let's give this a try. I don't know if the nibbler's going to get in there. We might have to pull this out. Nah, that's not going to work.
That's what I was saying.
Maybe grab the drill, drip some holes through it, and then die grinder.
And just beat it out with a hammer and shit, cold chisel.
No, if you drill hole. Oh yeah, hole, lots of holes, and it'll wiggle out, and then clean it up with the die grinder.
Yep.
Go hard. You go.
Well, that was dandy.
Oh, I don't really need. I probably can do it on my own if you don't get it done now. But we can fight over who does it first. I think I've got a loom almost ready. Well, I think it's ready to be fitted to the vehicle, to the engine. Plugs are done. I've added the OBD2 plug. I've done the immobiliser on the ECU. So that's done. The 2 plugs for the dash loom are now done, and I've put in the tacho and speedo wiring to put adjuster boxes in. That's for the heater switch. I've got to do the airflow meter and the steering rack solenoid wiring. So I think I can put that on. I got to do an alternator loom. So I'm really hopeful that my gear shift is going to pop up through there. Really hopeful. So we'll see how that gets on. Oh, didn't see that before. It's not really in my way though. And I think I'll take the motor to my wiring loom. As you can see, I've got the dipstick in. Exhaust manifolds are on. They look good too. Really happy with those. What are you into, miss? You right? Good girl. It doesn't take too much to put these looms on, fortunately. They generally clip together pretty well. And this one really was a sweetheart of a loom without many broken plugs. Real sweetheart. You can see I've added that water temp sensor for the gauge. And I wonder if the bracket for there's somewhere. There's normally some brackets for those as well under there. There's normally a bracket on that alternator. It's a little tricky because I didn't take the loom off this one. So some of those little brackets and little peripherals aren't there. The earths are on the back of the cylinder heads. Oh, the bracket for there's gone. There's normally a bracket around here. I have to see if I can find that as well. It's much easier setting this stuff up on the bench rather than in the car. There's oil pressure to cut off. And this is going across to the car. I've got to find some oxygen sensors because they were both buggered. They were both stuffed. And make sure we do up the earths on the back here really tight. I don't believe this car's getting that top cover, so we'll run that without that. Got a wiring loom all over the engine now. So it's been a big day today. It's been one of those frustrating days when I came to work and the wiring loom looked like it did 4 hours after I spent more time on the loom, you know, or before I spent time working on the loom. It looked exactly the same at the end of the job, but I'd added a few wires and made a few changes and put a bit of tape on it and poked in a few of those last tricky wires. So a bit of a mind battle today, but I got there. Loom sat on nicely. Went through and I found some oxygen sensors. Hopefully they're okay because we're getting a bit short on the old budget at the moment, but I do have some new ones in the cupboard. If we get to the end of this and we get a bit more budget happening. Oil pressure sensor has been pushed in and I've wired that. I secured the front with some cable ties because I couldn't find the proper bracket. And I secured around here with cable ties because I don't want that rubbing on any of the pulleys or anything. The only two plugs I've had to replace on this loom are the accelerator position sensor and the airflow meter, which wasn't even there. And I'm just doing that now. I happen to have a new plug, so I was really happy about that. And I should have just gone with my gut instinct and kept the length I wanted. Because I used the same colour wires, I can cheat a little bit and just poke them in the hole. Matching this other one, I happen to have a complete loom here. So I do feel a bit like I'm cheating. So I don't have to use any diagrams. I'm just poking them in the holes the same as that one. Just matching it up. We've got the exhaust manifolds bolted on today as well. So they were painted up. And we spent probably an hour hanging off a grinder, just taking off the sharp edges on the engine mounts and chucking some paint around. So it's been one of those days where there's been lots of activity, but there's not a whole lot to see for it. I suppose you can see a loom on there, so I shouldn't complain too much. Oh, that one's not wanting to just clip in. In you go. Oh, there it is. Just double check. Blue, white, green, brown, pink. So that's cool. So that'll sit in there quite nicely. Secure them behind there. And it doesn't want to push in nicely. It's the wrong plug. Turns out I might not have airflow meter plugs. We can fix it. It's got a big one there, it's got a small one there. Easy to fix, we'll take the lip off. So that problem's averted. She's a bit tight, but it plugs in. There it is, beauty. So I think I might get some epoxy resin and glue that in there too. Glue that insert in. And we also have to make sure the airflow meter goes on the correct way. Now I see a lot of these engines actually, they end up with the wrong airflow meters, or guys ring up and the car won't run properly, and wrong airflow meters. So this is a 20 series VVTi. So it's got the big coil packs, and it's got the big cartridge airflow meter. So the part number on that is 22204 20010. Okay, so make sure you get the right airflow meters. So I'm happy with that. That's looking pretty good. So tomorrow I'm going to build up a wiring loom for the alternator. It's going to come underneath, come under here, around here and up towards the battery. I might actually solid up that alternator because I think I can get the power steering with the alternator in place. We've had the bolts off while we were doing other bits and pieces, and we might do up that pulley, the nut on the power steer. The general engine is actually just about ready to fit. We'll have to put a clutch on it, so we haven't done that yet. Bang a spigot bearing in it, but we're getting pretty close. I've got a bit more work to do on the engine mounts tomorrow. So fingers crossed by the end of tomorrow we'll actually have it sitting in the hole and bolted up like it was on Monday when we came to work. But of course we've had a whole lot of welding done, bits and pieces, and the wiring loom's been done. So we have made some progress.